Coming up in Centre Circle, former national player Dean Sewell left flattened after failing to play at the World Cup. Schoolboy footballers given the green light to play in the Red Stripe Premier League. And stakeholders delighted with the Casafa-Vallejo partnership. Off the radar locally, but busy overseas, coaching kids. That's the story of former reggae boy Dean Sewell. Centre Circle caught up with the former utility player, and he takes us back in time. Many remember him as a right back, but his role was bigger than that.
I don't consider myself a defender. And we have to understand within my club, which is Canton Spring, we play a free-flowing game. So I'm allowed to move according to the flow of the game. So I take it as the opportunity. My favorite player growing up was Josimar. And if anyone remember anything from the 80s and Josimar in the Brazilian team, him score goal just the same. And that was where I started emulating a player that I look at and said, that's my player. And kind of implement his style. My schooling is just like my playing. I do arts, I do engineering, I do steel fabrication, that are stats, steel fabrication and engineering. I leave go college, business. So I have a little of everything. Try to be versatile in anything I do. And the same way you try to impart your knowledge. You know, when you teach the game, you teach the game according to life. You need a tool, and you have to master your tool. And to me, our players them nowadays, them is more of a dress parade for the most part.
It was based on his ability to play different positions, why he thought he would have been integral at the 1998 World Cup in France, but he never even played a minute. Instead, he got the best seat at the stadium where the Reggae boys played their 3 matches, and that was on the bench.
At no point in time leaving, you know, I think I would get that chance to go on the field, you know. But as we all know, coaches make the decision and how they want to play, whether it be for tactical reasons or personal reasons. It make him decision, and there's nothing I could do about that. So.
Did it hurt your chances in any way at all of getting that big contract that you probably was looking for at the time?
Well, I can't say that for sure, but I know when you go a certain part, like for example, I go Leicester City go and try out, and even though I was known, that was one of their questions. Did he play? You know, go Walsall, I don't know if it come up and all of that. So I can't tell for sure. What is to be must be, and maybe that wasn't the destination for me.
One of the reasons Sewell says he didn't get any playing time at the World Cup was as a result of Jamaica moving away from the original playing style which got them to FIFA's showpiece.
Once we got to the World Cup, we had changed to a 4-4-2 system. And Frank Sinclair wasn't as offensive, and he was playing on the right side. So he wasn't as offensive as Ricardo Gardner on the left side was. So you find that the left side of the field went on more attacking, while the right side of the field was more stagnant. So that was where that part of the offense shut down on the right side of the field. So it's really the player, personnel that was on that side of the field that created that compared to the player personnel on the left side of the field. Use that as one of the reasons, but personally it shouldn't be, because the coach make him decision. If you ask me, I'm here any 10. And if you ask him, I'm gonna probably say the same thing. But I think one of the things that affected us at the World Cup was that we went there and we changed our system. if you go back and watch all 3 games, the Croatia game we played 4-4-2. The Argentina game we played 4-4-2. The Japan game we played 3-5-2. That was the only game where, and the team felt it and played like it, because someone look and see one player here, you know where he should be, and you can move in accordance. And the game is like that. You understand players' movement, players' requirement. The time that we went to France, it was too limited of a time for us to try to inject a new system back into our thing, when we have been doing something for 3+ years and it's working.
Sewell believes football in Jamaica hasn't been the same since the Reggae Boyz qualified for the World Cup.
I think the football has taken a step back, to be honest with you. We have more players with skill, but there is no structure in which the players play, and there is no continuity with the players that they develop. Even from the 98, there is no continuity. We invest in players for a 4-year campaign. Okay, we fail. You have older players that move on. Then you have players that go through that campaign that they push to the side and they start anew. So you have to have some form of continuity in whatever you're doing in order to have a good structure going forward. You can't say coach because you don't know what the coach implement in practice or try to implement in practice. But when they go out on the field, you can see where there's movement lacking, too much dribbling, not much off the ball movement. A player dribble from point A to point B where a player is, and the player at point B don't even try to move to point C to create a space or a positive angle, stuff like that. At this time, 2018, 2019, we have more technology available to us. We have more equipment available to us. We have more coaching available to us. But the standard seems like will break because them think there's no real opportunity for them. So it break them spirit for even want to come to camp, and then it break them spirit even playing in the club because that might be them dream.
Another thing that he thinks is causing a breakdown in Jamaican football is the respect, or lack thereof, between veteran and young players.
And it's not just now. It has been said is that the older players them don't respect the younger players them, and the younger players them excuse me, don't respect the older players them. It's a give and take. One have to willing to share, and one have to willing to accept knowledge. We have past players here that is sharing the knowledge. The younger players have to be able to feed off that and accept and don't believe it's a put down, or because knowledge is never ending. And the more knowledge you have, is the better it is. I would have also said to the older players, don't be afraid to reach out to the younger players then. In whatever capacity, and it don't even have to be when they're there at a game, or even after a game you see them, if you see something, you can explain to them, say, this is what I say, I think you could have do this. And the younger players, them have to be responsible enough and be receptive enough to know your game is not there. Talent is something that can enhance. And there's certain prerequisite to the game.
The former St. Andrew Technical student still keeps in touch with the schoolboy competition from afar.
I see clippings of the George's KC finals. And you hear, because I'm in the Constant Spring Talk group, so you hear them talk about the games. But from the clippings, well, when I see clippings, it's kind of break down the game or summarize the game. And the winning team win, and you can't take that away. But every game, in order for there to be a positive or a negative outcome, you can't have a perfect game. Every time Georges make a mistake, not scoring, KC score, likewise. It's just that Georges make for them final mistake at a time when the game done. And KC managed to capitalize on it, you know. So, but in all that though, you see the players them have talent. The players them have talent.
He didn't win the Manning Cup with stats, but hopes that they can add to their solitary title won back in 1988.
Well, they went close last year. They went to the finals last year, lost out on penalty kick. This year they went to semi-finals, lost out again. So the honor path, I don't know what it's going to take for them to actually break that barrier, but there has to be something the other schools doing that Stats not doing, or something we need to do that the other school not doing to break through on that.
And we'll have more with Dean Sewell on Jamaica's club system in our next program. Still to come on Centre Circle, JFF relaxes rule for schoolboy footballers to play in the Red Stripe Premier League, and Vallejo Academy giving the thumbs up to Kasafa.